We're back. Rog, Davo, Bob Lee's Panic Room. A preview, Rog, of the second quarter-final. Brazil versus Colombia in Fortaleza.
Hot, hot, hot.
It's going to be hot. Brazil coming off their worst performance of the tournament, I dare say,
of
against
history.
Chile, and maybe of history. How are they going to rebound from that, Rog?
Well, you may remember penalties against Chile.
Yeah.
Tears, emotions.
So many tears.
They've looked death. It's a bit like the movie Fearless to me, Davey.
Yeah.
They've had a near-death experience.
Yeah.
Do you feel immortal as a result of that and crush all comers? Or do you simply wilt? You've given your all, you're emotionally drained.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Just watching David Luiz hoof, Rog, those long balls from the back up towards Fred and Hulk and Joe. We've never seen anything like that.
I can tell you, on Copacabana Beach, when Davo and I walk down the beach, as we do for our morning constitutional, we see within an acre of our hotel 1,000 players more talented than Joe, just knocking balls off their
shoulder, off their pecs.
Shoulder. I mean,
everything.
We do not understand why Fred, who is so embarrassed by his own play, he's mustachioed at this point. He wears it disguised,
frankly.
And the problem for Brazil is that the lack of a striker creates very little space for Neymar.
Yeah.
Because this Brazil team, Davo, to me, it's like watching Hugh Jackman on Broadway. Everybody else is just supporting cast. It's a very physical supporting cast for this Brazil team. But they have Neymar. They're creating very little space. They're relying on him. And he has a thigh injury. He has a knee injury. And the whole of Brazil is thinking, what do we do if, God forbid, Neymar is slightly injured or even has a bad game?
Yeah.
How are we going to get through this?
The psychologist has been brought in, Rog, to deal with all the tears, to deal with how emotionally spent those Brazilian players were. Players seem to enjoy therapy, seem to enjoy talking about their feelings.
Emily Egan-White says, who knows what's going to have to happen with this Brazil team? The only thing that's for sure is Julio Cesar will end up in tears. Neymar continues to impress. Asked if he's under pressure, he says, why would I be under pressure? This is just like having a kickabout with my mates. Is Brazil, though, a little overconfident? Google tells us there are 3 times as many searches from Brazil for Argentina, the team they hope to play in the final, as there are for this Colombia team, and this team should not be underrated, David.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I sort of think how you feel this game is going to go, how you think whether Brazil are going to rebound or not, really depends on how good you think this Colombia team are. Won their last 16 game pretty handily against Uruguay. Sean deprived of Luis Suarez. Came out of Group C very, very impressively, but tough to know exactly what the pedigree of Group C was. How good is James Rodriguez? Is he one of the best young players in the world? We might be about to find that out, Rog.
He's no DeAndre Yedlin, David.
He's not that good.
We did know before the World Cup that there'd be a man in yellow, a 22-year-old who would terrorise all comers and single-handedly dominate the World Cup with 5 goals. What we didn't think was that it was James, I guess Jimmy to his friends for short, Jimmy Rodriguez, who'd be that man. 22, absolutely ebullient performance. Behind him, there's a mix of youth and experience, talents and physicality. They enter this game with surging confidence, in great contrast to the Brazil team, with the psychiatrist trying to damp down all challenges. 11 goals so far in this World Cup will make the team confident, Davo. I expect an extremely physical game. There will be no prisoners taken. Who will be the victor?
It's going to be emotional. We should say it's going to be an emotional on both sides, Rog. Andres Escobar, the Colombian player, basically killed, murdered after the World Cup in 1994. We're right around the 20-year anniversary of that terrible tragedy. His family are going to be at the stadium
wearing his
jersey. Emotional, I think, for the whole country going on.
Redemption, the stakes for both teams.
I'm beyond having any sense of what's going to happen in this World Cup. It doesn't always seem to be about who's the best football team. The only way to find out is by going to the Cupcakes. You have Colombia. I have Brazil. I've eaten enough Brazilian buffet to know what this is going to taste like, Rog.
Oh, my. That is beautiful. Taste of joyful, highly choreographed, some would say over-choreographed Michael Jackson thriller goal celebrations. It tastes of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It tastes of Colombia 2. Brazil 1.
Tiny bananas. Fish that isn't quite as fresh or good as you wanted it to be. Sushi that's surprisingly good. and weird tasting chocolate. That's what that tastes like. I think it's going to be another similar performance by Brazil, but I think it's going to be good enough. I think it's going to be good enough. Close game, extra time, 3-2 to Brazil.
Vamos.